A new study mapping the brains of New Mexico prisoners is giving new insight into the minds of murderers.
And this research hopes to identify people who are more likely to kill and then possibly prevent violent attacks, including mass shootings. Here's 4 investigator Nathan O'Neill.
How do you unlock the mind of a murderer? How do you understand someone capable of killing 22 people in El Paso, Texas? 58 people in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Shots fired, 4:15 a.m.
Or those responsible for the 17,000 murders that happen in our country every year. It's a complex question. Why do killers kill? Are they hardwired to do so? And can you stop them before they act? Some researchers believe those answers might be found inside the brain. At the Mind Research Network here in New Mexico, Dr. Kiehl is diving deep inside the minds of murderers.
For such a big problem, it's really surprising that this is the first study of its kind.
Dr. Kiehl is a neuroscientist and psychologist. He and his team designed a mobile brain scanner to study inmates in New Mexico and Wisconsin. Over the past decade, they've conducted MRI scans of nearly 1,000 prisoners to examine the differences between brains of killers versus non-killers.
The brains are quite different, and in fact, they're pretty reliably different, surprisingly different.
In his latest study published this year, Dr. Kiehl's team found when it comes to killers, sections of the brain responsible for controlling emotions, impulses, and social awareness are less developed. And this isn't the only probe into the brains of homicidal people. More than 1,000 miles away at Stanford University, locked away inside a research lab, is the brain of Stephen Paddock. He was the gunman who killed 58 people in Las Vegas 2 years ago.
Shots fired from Mandalay Bay.
After opening fire on a crowd of concertgoers from a high-rise hotel.
It was hand-delivered to me by the coroner.
Dr. Hans Vogel examined the shooter's brain for abnormalities.
I think we're getting there in terms of finding areas of the brain that may explain homicidal behavior.
In the shooter's brain, Vogel found what could be described as a type of scarring of the brain tissue. And while it can be found in people with Alzheimer's or Parkinson's disease, it's still unclear how or why it forms.
Quasi-scarring process in the brain was higher than the average 60-something-year-old male, yes. But the significance of it is totally unknown.
That sort of scarring was found in key parts of Stephen Paddock's brain, parts associated with emotion, anger, and decision-making. Back in New Mexico, Dr. Kiehl continues to work to identify people prone to homicidal behavior. But he's quick to point out his research does not predict whether someone will commit murder.
Prevention, I mean, that is the ultimate goal.
Still, he hopes his work will be key in developing therapy or even medicine that could one day reduce the risk of dangerous behavior. Now, this approach to brain scanning has raised some ethical concerns, specifically when it comes to profiling people based on their brain differences. Even so, Dr. Kiehl has received calls from parents across the country wanting to get their kids tested. Nathan O'Neill, 4 Investigates.